Yes, we are live. I can't wait to go live. We reached it. We reached the point where we are live. So I decided to do this because I knew I wasn't going to get anything in return, right? So in that regard, is that's like, okay, let's just go for it. I haven't done this in a while, so I'm just going to roll with it. I'll pretend, right? I'll pretend because the few things I do well, I will talk about and just be gone. Because at this point, it's just going to be interacting with Bullseye myself, right? So, hello everybody, it's Bullseye. Today we're talking about Canada state thing and Netflix thing with Raw thing. If you understand a few things, like the Dialog Den is basically just me dialoguing about things. Yeah, that's and a den. Yeah, that's what it is. So it's just more so like, okay, let's just put something together and just do it. Let's just do it. So Trump's saying Canada is going to be a 51st state. Okay, let's just get right into it. So reading into it, turns out like when Trump first said it, it was more of a prying a joke kind of thing, and a jab at Trudeau because it was something about tariffs and shit. And he said something about like the economy would be better, we'd have like affordable housing, some shit like that, and plus things and cheaper, like stuff like that. There was something around those lines, right? So when he was saying something like that, as far as tariffs goes, if he didn't put the tariffs, he'd just get the state in general, get it as a state in general. And there is a lot of history, by the way, between U.S. trying to have Canada. So which is another matter entirely. But as far as that I'm concerned, I am going to talk about as far as that goes. So when Trump says he's going to get Canada as a state, it was like a prying of Justin Trudeau. He's taking jabs at Justin Trudeau because it's more so like he's going to have tariffs on like not only just Canada but Mexico, China, anything that is foreign. There's going to be tariffs on it. That's just basically what it is. And that freaked out a lot of politicians in Canada, and even Chrystia Freeland, who happens to be the deputy prime minister for the Liberal Party that Justin Trudeau leads. It just steps down because she realized that Trump is going to actually do the tariffs, and Canada is freaking out over just the tariffs alone, just the tariffs. Like this would fuck up their economy, even though their economy is kind of already fucked up. If you really look into it, as far as I know, their economy is fucked up. The affordable housing is down. They can't afford anything. People, you can't even live on your own. It's basically the United States, but if you made it 10 times worse. I'll put it that way. So when she steps down, Chrystia Freeland, and now the Liberal Party, and yes, it's the Liberal Party, is asking Justin Trudeau to step down because he's even had received very, very much bad criticism for his, job rating, which is you would think he's been getting that his whole life, but now he's getting bad, bad job ratings. But this time around, he is. Now as that goes on, Justin Trudeau also said, "Not a snowball chance in hell I am letting Canada be the 51st state of the United States," which, by the way, is laughable. But if we were to take that to account, like United States would just be inheriting another bad economy, so that would just not be a good thing. But as Trump said, it would get rid of the foreign policies that they would have on Canada, and they would have an economic recovery at that point. And Canada is not really having a good recovery of their economics at all. And especially the tariffs and most of the products in a lot of countries that have tariffs on U.S. Um, products have actually rely on U.S. products. Very much so. U.S. is number one in farms, oil industry. We're number one in a lot of shit. With the exceptions of schoolings, we used to be, but not anymore. But we still got the number one in healthcare systems. So, like, you have to people need to understand that United States is very much influential with their products, and I'll say that much. So, so the tariffs on Canada, because it's also the fact that United States in itself is also reliant on foreign products themselves. So this is another problem for the United States. So this is another thing. If the Canadian products become put tariffs on the products and Canadian products, any other products, of course it's fair now because like that puts the supply and demand, and therefore people shop smarter for things they can afford, which hence that are local. They're going to shop local instead. They're not going to buy anything that is from you know something like from Taiwan, for example. Right. So that's neither here nor there. It's not. So it really still stems from the tariff thing. Now, as far as becoming a state goes, like I said, it was a joke momentarily. Yeah, it started out as a joke, and it still is a joke going on. And Trump said it at a Mar-a-Lago joke, and everybody laughed. Now, as far as people are concerned, it's not happening. That being said, it did raise a lot of people, and it did stir the pot with the Liberal Party in Canada. Yeah, so I'm guessing I know where the term liberal comes from. So knowing going from there, I already talked about the tariffs bullshit, all that stuff, the economic things, the terrible job ratings, and basically there's not much else to cover from there. Oh, but I really want to talk about Trump saying something which is honestly I don't think people would even get it yet, because in the United States people wouldn't understand the history between U.S. trying to actually like have Canada and Britain, and this is kind of like stemming back into the Revolutionary War, and after the Revolutionary War, and it was around like it didn't exactly end, but United States wanted Canada, and Canada didn't really want to be part of the United States. So after like 1776 and the Declaration of Independence, the war didn't necessarily stop with the Britons. It more so just transpired to like United States trying to get control in Canada, and now trying to raid Canada and trying to conquer them, stuff like that. So it stemmed from that, and Canada only became an independent country around 1869. So like this has been an ongoing conflict up until that point. So I don't know when exactly they became friends, but this has been like United States has been trying to get Canada. They've been fighting for Canada their whole fucking lives, and they just failed to get it. So that's that. So fast forward. So a lot of people in the United States won't understand this because they probably don't understand Canadian history as far as that goes. They only understand like America being independent stuff like that. Yeah. It's more so like that. So the war now, as far as the war goes, the war, as far as I'm concerned, didn't necessarily happen with Canada yet, but there were several invasions. So I believe the war only happened around 1813, which is the United States still trying to garner land from Canada, and this Canada having the back of the British Empire still. So like British Empire and the United States still at conflict, still at war in some capacity away. Up until they lost all that power. But yeah, there's that. So I got that out of the way because like one just to throw a wrench out there, like to give credence to something that already exists, and there you go. I don't want to linger on it so much because I think I already talked about the main points about it. But I feel like I'm forgetting things. I mean, there's the Conservative Party in Canada too that also would love Justin Trudeau to step down. That's a no-brainer. They've yeah, everything that transpires in Canada kind of just it's kind of already covered the whole basis of it. Now, considering that I'm not going to be on for too long. Although I'm hoping I can stretch this out a bit, just so I can get longer. Now, as I say that, I'm only saying this because why not? And you know, checking my viewers, I still have 0, so I'm not sure why I would want to stretch it out. Well, it's more so that just to keep myself busy, right? Got nothing better to do. So I stretched this out. Like last time, I went like an hour, but I'm not gonna go an hour because like I've only got 2 topics to really delve into. And as far as the Canadian being a state thing, there wasn't much to talk about. It's just a whole tariffs bullshit thing. It's not gonna be anything much. It's in fact Canada is scared that if the tariffs do happen, you know, there's gonna be less incentive to buy Canadian products and shit, and Canada will suffer heavily because now U.S. money dollars isn't going to them. There's that much. So yeah. Now, as far as tariffs goes in other countries, it's going to be the same thing. Okay, the United States is very much reliant on like foreign products, and I think the one good thing Trump is trying to do is go to foreign. The whole thing of Trump saying I'm going to make Canada a state thing, it's not going to happen. I don't think. I hope not. That's in itself kind of like Canada is one that would be one big ass state. So I don't that was just be like a bad idea. So off that topic here, 11 minutes. So 11 minutes on WWE Raw going to Netflix. This is another thing I wanted to talk about. So there we go. Um, so understanding this now. Now keep in mind what I understand from it is that it was basically going to Netflix. The ring design was changed. They cloned Lillian Garcia or something, or not Lillian Garcia, Samantha. They cloned Samantha Irvin, and now they got a new black chick. So there's that. And and the show opens with Triple H. Okay. No, I'm not going to talk about the sequences of what happened on Raw. Instead, I want to talk about a few things that people are talking about when it came to Raw. A lot of people are praising it because great wrestling matches, of course, Papa H and things like that. Other people are criticizing it because it was boring matches. Nothing did anything for it. It was nothing. I wanna I wanna actually give criticism. Gary, the wrestling guy, came back. Welcome. The hater started making his videos. There you go. Everything is ruined. Started making some streams about it, and then talks a few shit about it. How is it boring? What I want to do is a bit differently. I don't want to talk shit about it. I don't want to praise it either. What I want to do is talk about why it failed. Exactly why exactly it failed. Some people is gonna kind of put blinders on and see how it is, but I'm gonna try with no viewers at all, so I don't have to be made fun of at all for the things I say. So yay! So I'm gonna say so. The first things first is that the show lacked a direction. No direction whatsoever on the show. Like there was no direction. Nothing happened. It was just basically a house show, and that's the big problem here. Like there was nothing leading to nothing. Nothing interesting to happen. Nothing that you would sit there and look forward to. And additionally, if you consider that they take to account like there's going to be some new viewers. Okay, Netflix. Some people might be interested, right? And being that Hulk Hogan might be there, Undertaker might be there, and some celebrities might be there. Who knows, right? So some people might be interested. Turns out people were leaving the stands as well. So the show didn't do as good as a job as keeping people engaged. And a lot of that has to stem from direction. Another that is a sense of urgency. The show lacked a sense of urgency. There's nothing. There's no getting to point A to point B. There's no leading. There's no setup. There's nothing. There wasn't even a. There was not even a. I don't know if this actually was the case, but did they even bring up Royal Rumble on the show? I don't know. Someone that miraculously comes in and hears that moment and says, "Yes, who knows?" Or no, who knows? But I'm only saying this because did they even bring up Royal Rumble once? Because there was no, because there was nothing of that sorts. They didn't bring up anything that would interest people, and more importantly, in the sense of urgency, Matt, they did not even attempt to. This goes back to the no direction. They didn't even attempt to set up anything. The first thing they did is bring out Triple H and Tim having a squat fest, and The Rock coming out and then putting over Cody for whatever reason. A lot of the so the few problems is that people that are aware of pro wrestling are going to see pro wrestling as this. And listen closely. Most people that see pro wrestling see it as smack talk, shit talk. I'm gonna beat you up, then fake fight shit like that. People are aware it's all that's what it is, right? So when they the first thing they see is The Rock and Triple H come out, and they don't even cut any promos of any hatred towards each other, how they're gonna do that, and it just hugging, handshakes, and shit like that. That's gonna turn people off. You're gonna probably drive people away. Okay, they don't want to see that. They rather see something. They rather see shit talk. They rather see fighting, right? Who's in my chat? K kid, yo, what up? Yeah, what up? X ski kid. Anyway, I'm only saying this now because like when you do that, you create you did create a disconnect, and they don't even know why they're seeing that. And the first thing about storytelling is that if there's two different things. Oh, I wonder why this is happening versus why the fuck am I seeing this? So like there's because if they're not interested in what you're showing them, then that's it. Because if people are leaving the stands, it's not. And keep in mind, Raw that day had legends like Hulk Hogan, The Rock, even people in with the stands that are supposedly celebrities that I don't know about. Undertaker coming out, and not even Raw making it top 10 in Netflix. That's a kind of a red flag. So it shows that. Now, as far as that goes, when I say no direction, no sense of urgency, nothing built to anything. There was nothing built to. So, like, when they, and this is another thing, when they first saw Roman versus Solo Sikoa, this goes back to the, like, why am I seeing this? When you book that, and especially with new viewers coming in, right? And it's 40 minutes long. What is the typical response of a? What do you think the response will be? Why is this edgelord big man struggling against a fat dude that is shorter than him? That's probably going to be the reaction to that because they don't know why. They don't know who these people are. Roman is fairly new to pro wrestling compared to The Rock, Undertaker, and Hulk Hogan. A lot of people left pro wrestling, so they probably people are not going to really hear of Roman Reigns. Well, they might have, but they're not really going to hear of Solo Sikoa. So they're not going to really know who these people are, and they don't know why they're seeing it. And additionally, when you just have people randomly interfere, they're going to be like, "What is this? Why is this happening?" So it makes people scratch their heads. So nothing of the sorts really makes sense for any of this sorts to happen. So at best, you just gave away a match and nobody even knows why it's happening. But it's a 40-minute match, and there it is. So anything that regards to that, nobody even knows why it happens. The only people that know that it happens, why it happens, is the ones that continues to watch the product on a daily basis. And some people probably didn't even aren't subscribed to Netflix just so they can watch Raw. They might subscribe if they're that fucking diehard fan, I guess, depending who they are, how much of a loser they are. So who knows? So there's a lot of things about the show that just kind of was just giveaway. Book a match, wrestle like CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Apparently that was on a card too. Well, nobody knows why that was happening. So the new viewers that were seeing this were just leaving the stage. Why should they care about that? Like, why should they care? Now, most of the audience booed Hulk Hogan. They're liberals, and he's a Trump supporter, so just understand that. Hulk Hogan is still a big name, so there's that. But it's strange to me, again, like I said before, they had Legends return. So it's strange to me that knowing that they had Legends come out, this is Raw's debut to Netflix, and all that stuff. it ends up being a house show with the addition of Rhea Ripley winning the World Heavyweight Championship. And new viewers that would see this don't even know why this took place in the first place. Like, I didn't know why she was champion. So they did a title change on a show where people on Netflix would watch, and they're looking at it like, why is this happening? What went down? What's going on here? Yeah, and Undertaker putting her over. Now, this is another thing that comes out. A lot of people back in the day, and I agree with this, and a lot of its extent, relied on a lot of part timers to try to sell the pay per views and get people over, or some shit like that, to try to sell merch, right? It's the same thing Triple H did now. The only difference is people are praising the part timers this time, but because they're putting over their favorites, right? This is the same problem though, relying on part timers because the product sucks as new stars that they are, right? There we go. This is the same problem. Relying on past talent to get over new talent. That's not a good thing because it tells us that we don't know who these people are. The Undertaker, we don't know why Undertaker would care about Rhea Ripley winning the World Heavyweight Championship. We don't know, especially other people. Like, why is Undertaker paired with some goth dude who's claiming to be a chick? That's what it's going to look like to people. They're not going to know what's going on with that. There is no direction. Data people don't know why it happened. So at best, the people that first time ever viewed Raw or haven't watched Raw in a long time decided to watch Raw again at that moment. Saw that, it was like, and there was much less to be desired. It was like, so why should I watch the next episode? They're gonna be, so why should they watch the next episode? It was basically just, hey, look, we're on Netflix. Look at all the legends. Look at all the people. Look at all the people. Look at Rock and Cody. Look at all the good matches. We're on Netflix now. Do you see the problem here? It wasn't about the Royal Rumble. It wasn't even about like the World Heavyweight Championship or the WWE Championship. It was just about, hey, we're on Netflix now. Look at us. And give away some matches for an extra amount of time. I don't know how long Rhea Ripley or Liv Morgan was. Who knows? I don't know. But it was insane to me. So I think it broke down just fine. No direction, because they didn't even bring up the Royal Rumble at all. They didn't even announce it on the debut. They didn't even announce like the World Heavyweight Championship at all be defended at Royal Rumble. They didn't do anything of that. Braun Breaker didn't show up, I guess. He wasn't on. Who knows? Was he on? I don't know. But a lot of things happened. So that's 23 minutes. I had fun. That's all I can talk about. So, knowing that I don't have to talk anything else, and this is just to get the stream out, because why not? Because I am bored. I think I can end it here. Thanks, guys. Thanks, me. I'm gonna tune in and listen to this back because I like listening to myself. I'm a freaking egotistical. I'm egotistical like that. Anyway, bye.